Hey guys, it's Scott from McGuire's on Tires. Thanks for joining us tonight for VidLift, where we're going to review 2 videos, learn from them, see what we can do to help them get a little better, see what we can take from what they're doing to help us all get a little better. And we're going to have a good time tonight. If you are willing to submit a video for us to review, please send us an email at vidliftinfo@gmail.com. What we'd like you to send us is just a link to a clip of a video of yours on the YouTubes and tell us what minute segment you'd be willing for us to look at and review. And we'll show your video here on the show on VidLift, and we will talk about it and have a roundtable discussion about it and see what folks in the chat have to say to help us all get better. Now, my channel is a family travel vlog where we travel in our RV. We're actually in Virginia right now. We've had some great fun in the Shenandoah Valley. In the comments, would you tell us what is your favorite vacation spot? And as you're typing that in the comments, let's go see who is hanging out somewhere on a farm. Who we got with us from the farm?
Hey, what's going on, Scott?
Hey, Dave, tell us what you got going on.
So we have hit the road as well. I am doing a current few weeks at my uncle's farm in South Dakota. He's allowed me to mooch stock out here on the farm, and I get to sit in the RV and work all day while my girls run around and play with kittens, climb around in barns, and play King of the Hill and some dirt back there.
It looks gorgeous. Is it as beautiful there as it looks on the screen?
Man, the weather has been phenomenal. They hit like 100 degrees before we got here, and since we've been here, the weather's been highs of the 70s and 60s with low humidity.
That's awesome. Well, let's see who is in the studio with Johnny Carson tonight.
Here's Johnny. No, I'm Steve Turtle, and I'm a work camper. And Jill and I, we're on a 3-month vacation. We're not working at all. But I do a video about work camping every once in a while, and some adventure and DIY and how-to and all that good stuff. But I'm not here to talk about me. I'm here to talk about these 2 clips. So where's Donovan?
Yeah, tonight we also have with us the guy who made the green screen video. Here he is. What's up, Donovan?
Sorry, I just got out of the pool. I'm still drying off. There we go. Phew. Man, that was a mess.
Y'all, this is Donovan from RV on the Wayside. Tell us about your channel, bud.
Well, we like to participate in other people's live shows. But what we really like to do is we like to show you some travel things. We like to show you some things that help you with filming. And we really enjoy telling you about events that we've attended that we think you might want to watch as well.
And Donovan and Steve and David, all of their videos, all of their reviews, all of their tips and tricks are very creative in how they're presented. You're not going to, if you watch any of their videos, you're not going to sit around bored, listen to the blah, blah, blah. They do it in such a creative way. Tonight, we're going to see 2 clips. We're going to see a clip from Adventures in Pop-Ups. We're also going to see a clip from Fort Wilderness Ricky. And what we'll do is we'll play this clip from, it's a 1-minute clip from Adventures in Pop-Ups, where they talk about pop-up campers, give some helpful tips for folks that camp in their pop-up. And we're going to watch a 1-minute clip. Dave will share a little bit about it. Steve will, Donovan will, then I will. Then we'll play that clip again. And hopefully you guys will type in the chat about that as well. And then we'll have a roundtable discussion. And remember, like I said, if you're willing to let us take a look at any of your videos, send us an email at vidliftinfo@gmail.com. Just send us the link to the clip. We'll take a look-see. We'll watch a 1-minute clip, and we'll provide some feedback. Well, fellas, is there anything else we need to do before we watch the first clip? All right, here it is. We're going to start with a 1-minute clip from Adventures in Pop-Ups.
Thanks again for joining us. Well, Rachel, what do we got on the docket for today?
We are going to talk about our top 10 list of modifications to help make your campsite and camping experience more awesome. Let me say before I get started that I will put links to all of the things so that if you're looking for that, it's already in the description. So you can check that out And if you appreciate this information, we appreciate a like, a comment, a subscribe, show us some love. We love you guys. And let's start with number 10.
Okay.
Number 10 is actually an essential, not just a modification. Please make sure you have wheel chocks and levelers. We actually just, I had a mini heart attack when we set up just recently because the wheel chocks were in, but when we disconnected from our tow vehicle, we felt it go, we felt them engaged, and I had half a second of a, and I've seen people post pictures of backing their runaway campers, and they hit a tree, and I'm like, oh no.
So that is Adventures in Pop-Ups, and they told us that they just passed 500 subscribers, and they're only 3 months in. So they're doing something right. And this video happens to be one of their more popular videos. And so why don't we just go around and have everybody tell us their thoughts on the video. Why don't you go first, Dave?
All right. Well, this is pretty cool for me. I don't think I've ever seen this channel before, so this was neat to be able to meet a new channel. And I liked the way that they played everything out. The cues on the bottom were timed perfectly, so their editing was just terrific. Like when they're like, hey, it's the top 10, and they had the little square pop up down there that talked about a top 10 and everything. And I especially love it when people use, what's the phrase, meta, when they brought in just a real fast clip of Kramer. I thought that was excellent, because that's something, anytime you're able to use those types of references, if you can legally get away with them, which usually you should be able to, especially as short and quick as it was, it makes it more relatable, because so many people know who Kramer was, and then it helps them apply an emotion. It's like, you know, here, have this emotion, and then you help the person get to that emotion faster. I thought that was really well done. For some odd reason, I got hung up on the titles when they put essential and camper mods, or camper essential and mods. Something about the way that the words went in a particular order, I got hung up on that. Especially the first 2 times I watched it today. I kept like getting stuck right there and losing track of the rest of the video, what was going on, because I'm like, did they mean to say essential camper mods, or were there camper essentials and mod? So just maybe play around with the ordering and the fonts and things like that to make sure that it's not confusing to anybody. How about you, Steve?
Yeah, a little bit of what Dave said. I don't know if it was me, but I felt like the volume was a little low. I had to crank my volume up on my computer to hear them. Could be just me, or it could be that I'm old, because Donovan's saying I can't hear. But I had a little bit of trouble with the volume. And the other thing is, I think something different that they might want to do in the future, as a suggestion, is maybe scoot themselves off center of the screen a little bit. So if you're going to show graphics, that the graphics don't overlap your head or your body, or, you know, sort of that, what are the rule of thirds type thing. But, you know, and if you're planning your video, and you know you're going to show graphics, and you know you're going to show text, you know, you want to offset yourself to leave that room right there, so that you can do that and it won't crowd the screen. Just a suggestion. Obviously, the video is doing really good with views. It has over 5,700, I think. And so, you know, conceptually, content-wise, the video is awesome. I thought it was a bit long for me, but, you know, I have a short attention span. I have that, what is it called, ADD? Yeah, I've got that. But otherwise, great job, guys. Donovan, what you think?
Yeah, you got to add. You got to add. So love the add-ins, love the awesome, love the Kramer. I like that you say right up front, and I think anybody who's going to give a list and you're going to put the links in your description, say it up front so people aren't jotting stuff down, and then all of a sudden you tell them at the end or in the middle, and they're like, I didn't have to write all that down. Because a lot of people won't look at the description right away. So just go ahead, and I like saying that right up front. I'm not a big fan, and I noticed someone else in the chat mentioned this as well. I'm not a big fan of asking for the like and the comment and the subscribe and stuff early on. I like to see people kind of earn it, and then if you're going to throw it out there, and if you throw it out, either make it funny, or you might think about making it funny or making it super fast. Maybe something just goes across screens. You don't even have to mention it. I don't know. That's just a personal thing for me, but that's how I feel. Matter of fact, I didn't even put one in my last video. I don't know if I gave you anything to like. So there you go. And if you're going to show an item, if you're going to give items, you got to show a picture of what you're talking about, because I don't know the difference, because I have a motorhome. I don't know the difference between wheel chucks and chocks. Sorry, chocks. See, I don't even know that one. And the other thing. Yeah, those things. I don't know what those are. Yeah. So I had to go look it up. Seriously. I mean, I have seen them before, but I didn't know which was which. So there you go. Because I'm an idiot. I'm a motorhome guy. But I really do think you were on the right path when you started popping in a few things. It helps keep things moving on.
Thank you guys for sharing all that. I think I can echo that. I love how you went bam, 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 bam. You know, you're going along, and there is what's the word I wrote down? Pattern interrupts. We're going along. We're just watching a video. And if you just keep talking to the camera, that's going to get old. You just kept talking to the camera, but you zoomed in, you added titles, you added Kramer's face, you did the slow-mo with the awesome, zoom graphics, slow-mo, voice alter, text. You did all of those. One more thing that would add to that is if you put a tiny sound effect when something swooshes in. It's just an audio pattern interrupt that's going to help keep people's attention. Clearly what you're doing is keeping people's attention, because this is a very popular video for you guys. So what we're talking about here is not, hey, this isn't working. This is, now that you've got this popular video, you need to, as soon as you can, make a similar video, because when somebody watches that video, they're saying, this is the information I'm looking for on the interwebs. So where else can I find this information? You need a video of yours to be the next video they watch. So you make a similar video, and this is how you keep their attention in that video. Just add some tiny little, like a swoosh sound when those graphics come in. And I'm with Donovan. You want to show the product, some B-roll. If you're talking about X-Chocks, just go take your camera and just zoom, whatever, the pan up X-Chock, and then plug that in over your face. And one thing that we use, we exploit our children on the internet. I don't think you're allowed to say that. We utilize our resources on our channel. Our kids are stinking cute. And so when we're going to show some B-roll, our kids are in it. They're going to be installing the X-Chock, or they're going to be pulling the chock out from under the wheels. I noticed in your other videos, you've got your cute kids. Go ahead and use them. But now I also don't know everybody's family situation. Maybe they're not interested in doing that. But that's just another way to do your B-roll. What we'll do now, y'all, is we're going to play that 1 minute clip again, and then we're going to go back through and we're going to do a round table discussion. And what we'd like to ask everybody in the chat, if you will, hold on, if I'm doing a poop video, you can't do a poop video. I've already got that. There's no video to do there. Sorry, you missed that one. We're going to play this again. And as we play it, if you guys would type in the chat something that you've learned that you can do, or something that they're doing really well, just give us some feedback in the chat. We're going to come back together in 1 minute.
Thanks again for joining us. Well, Rachel, what do we got on the docket for today?
We are going to talk about our top 10 list of modifications to help make your campsite and camping experience more. Let me say before I get started that I will put links to all of the things, so that if you're looking for that, it's already in the description. So you can check that out. And if you appreciate this information, we appreciate a like, a comment, a subscribe, show us some love. We love you guys. And let's start with number 10.
Okay.
Number 10 is actually an essential, not just a modification. Please make sure you have wheel chocks and levelers. We actually I had a mini heart attack when we set up just recently, because the wheel chocks were in, but when we disconnected from our tow vehicle, we felt it go... We felt them engaged, and I had half a second of a and I've seen people post pictures of backing their runaway campers, and they hit a tree, and I'm like, oh no.
I was just looking at the live chat. you guys are giving some cool feedback. I do want to point out that we have all been trained. Go ahead and hit the thumbs up. We would greatly appreciate your support in that way. And I do want to make sure that everybody knows that what we're watching right here is Adventures in Pop-Ups, and the links are in the description for these actual videos. So you can go support these channels and learn more about what they're doing. And there it is right there. And you are correct, because you know what? That's just what I do. I ruin the joke. That's how I roll. So what we're going to do now, y'all, is just go through and have a roundtable discussion, and y'all can unmute yourselves and tell us if you got some more thoughts to share.
Seriously, are you micromanaging this show? We can't interrupt you now because you're controlling our mute.
I'm the host, and I just cut him off. Now what are we going to do? Go ahead, RV on the Wayside. Anybody else lip?
I've got something to say. Can I say something? Am I muted?
Go ahead, ST.
I wanted to come back around to what David was talking about and see what your feelings are about fair use. You know, with that, I've used some things. I understand fair use. You can use those types of things without copyright infringement, as long as it's you don't just copy their whole video or copy their whole thing, but you can use plugs every once in a while, just like they did. And as long as you are using it to educate, humor or something like that, and I forget all the specifics, but I understand it's okay.
You're exactly right, Steve. Listen, y'all, it is super, super, super important that the people who put their brain power into the creative process get the payday that they deserve. I am all about it. Now, what we can do as YouTube creators is we can steal a little snippet like that of Kramer that lasts this long, and for that purpose. Mm-hmm. You got to, just like Steve said, you can't take an episode of Seinfeld and play that and say that's my video. But to help make your point, like Dave said, it takes you to that emotion like that, and everybody went right there. You're exactly right, Steve. So fair use people abuse that, but I think in the way we saw it tonight, that's perfectly appropriate and acceptable.
I researched this before because I had some ideas I wanted to run, and there's actually there's no time limit. There is no, from what I read on all the legal things, I even believe it or not, I even asked somebody from our lawyers who have someone who's in charge of stuff like that. There's absolutely nothing that says it's okay. It's only if somebody complains about it later. Right. So use that as a guideline. No one that put Kramer's face up, it was great. I loved it. Yeah. I mean, and you're going to get away with it because Seinfeld and NBC or whoever it was isn't going to care about, that little bit of time. But just know that there is no real rule on that. You're not allowed to use any of it legally, but someone has to complain. So just want to share that.
Now, I think we had talked about this too. How do you convey emotion beyond, using someone else's emotion? How do you do that?
Now, you're allowed to copy somebody in parody, so you could have done Home Alone.
Right, right.
I have something. Yeah, go ahead, Steve.
No, go ahead.
So when you do these videos like this, the hardest thing is when you're out camping and stuff is having different backgrounds and things like that to keep things moving. And this was like a one-shot video, and then they cut up parts of it and they did the zoom in and the zoom out. I would say do more of the movements, because the one part was a little long while they were sitting there still, a little too long. So if you could, just as an idea, maybe instead of just a zoom, maybe just focus in on one of them and pull that out and pop on the other person. Stuff like that. Oh, David's laughing. I don't know why.
I'm telling you, Donovan, and some B-roll on top of that would have broken that up a little bit.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm laughing because in this discussion of fair use, I just looked in the chat and I see that my mother has brought up last night's McGuire Monday show, to which we were all yelling at the TV about item number 3. Thank you, Scott. He said, if you see there, look for Vicky Daly.
Yeah, I see it right there.
Uh-huh. She's like, what about that, huh? Is that okay?
I believe I was promoting a product. I'm pretty sure I was helping sell a product.
Well, all I know is I had just sold the McGuires as a good family, good
Family.
Love it.
sit down and introduce you to my family that I'm here with. And next thing I know, I'm looking and I'm like, we're sending all the kids out of the room. Like, get out of the room, cover your eyes. What is he doing? And then when you said I'm removing the square, my mom and I and somebody else were all yelled, no!
So all we can say is fantastic job, Scott. Especially when I reacted on the phone prior to the show. I'm like, you can't show
Yes,
number
you
3.
did. You said, are you really going to show number 3?
I got a text from Donovan in the middle of the live stream, capital N, capital O. Don't show that. Those of you that aren't watching McGuire Monday, there's some crazy antics. Just come over to McGuire's on Tires on Monday nights. We have a good
Don't
time.
let him tell you about it. We love it. We don't miss a show. So that says something. And it's not because we like Scott. We like the rest of his family, but I'm just saying.
I am with you 100%. 100%. Y'all, I had a point 9 seconds after the end of this clip. I don't know if y'all kept watching, but 9 seconds later, a card popped up to send you to another video. Any of you three see a reason why that wouldn't be a good idea 9 seconds after this clip?
I didn't go to see what video it was.
There was a particular other person that used to do video reviews or channel reviews, and they had stated that you should look to see what your retention rate is, and that wherever the big drop-off is, you should add a link to try to get them to click at the moment that most people are leaving, to see if you can at least get them to click on that to go to another one of your videos to build up some extra analytics for your channel.
That's a great point, but probably what you don't want to do, that would have been at 1 minute 29 seconds for them, and it's an 18 minute and 47 second video. So I think at 1 minute 29, you probably don't want to send people off your video just yet. So this is one thing, Adventures in Pop-Ups, this is one thing you can do right now. You can go back into that video in your YouTube studio. I would take that same card and move it to the last 20% of your video. And if you want to take Dave's suggestion there, look at your analytics and see where the audience retention, see where it drops off, put it right there. Don't put it in the first couple of minutes of your video. You don't want people leaving your video that soon. And if they are leaving, you don't want it to be because you encouraged them to. Am I hitting that pretty close, y'all?
Man, you guys are teaching me stuff. I love this information. I didn't know any of that. That's awesome.
So I did want to say when Steve had brought up the whole fair use thing, I had heard years back, I tried my hand at making music with like computer samples and things like that. And I had read somewhere about 7 seconds, something about 7 seconds is like a fair use type deal. And so I've left that world behind and moved into this video creation world. And so now if I ever use anything like that, I try to keep it under 7 seconds. So just seemed like a pretty good policy. And I've not got nicked or anything. I've had clips from Avengers movies in mine and stuff like that. And YouTube licensing, nobody said a peep yet.
Yeah, I didn't get hit with Captain America in mine. I mean, sorry. What's
Captain
her
Marvel?
name? Yeah, Captain Marvel. Thanks. You
Captain
know what
Carol.
character I have in my shows.
Captain Carol.
Captain Carol. Well, look at you. Know the name. Oh, man.
You know, one more thing I would suggest that you guys do if you make a similar talking head video is just put some music under it. And it doesn't have to be loud, just some low level music just to keep things going, so that when you have that pause or when the brain starts to just, like when your spouse is talking to you and your brain kind of goes somewhere else, you need something else to keep you moving forward. I don't do that with my spouse. I'm just saying I've heard other people say that happens.
That brings up a very good point. Earlier you were talking about something, and I think the term is child labor.
I think this episode is going to be titled the legal episode.
Well, you were searching for words. I'm trying to help.
We're covering all the legalities of YouTube and the illegalities as well.
Yeah, from us non-professional who don't have a clue.
Yeah, well, it's fun.
It is.
You guys have anything else before we move on to the next one?
I just thought of one more thing, and I think we're all guilty of it. You got to keep watching the camera. I'm doing it all the time, and David has been on me about it numerous times. But especially when there's two of you, it's good to look at each other while you're talking because it's showing your connections. But if you're doing this and they're over here, it's not so good. So it's a tough thing when you're doing a one-cut video because you're like, what's next? And you're doing all this, and maybe if you're doing a live show, you're checking the chat. We can't do it 100%, but don't get stuck doing this while the other person's talking and then go, oh. So just something to think about. It's so hard. Like your whole family, Scott, they really look at the camera. You've got them trained well. I don't know if you got shock collars. I don't know how you treat I know how you treat us. So I'm not going to say how it's done, but I'm just saying they do a great job. Ooh,
are you suggesting 75% of my family does a great job on camera?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Steve Turtle, you must be too close if the range on that shock collar was working so well.
Well, we're both from the South.
Yeah, you got something here?
Yeah, this happens regularly, and you're not the first person to type that in the chat tonight. Y'all, whatever service you use talks you through what to do, and it's a pain. It really is, but you got to do it. Otherwise, they're getting the money from your video that you've done the work on, and you've paid them for the copyright for. Just go back to whatever service you use, go through the help steps, and it'll walk you through what to do to dispute that claim. You need to go to the trouble to do that because it's not fair for you to have those claims on what you've done if you've done it correctly. That's a great point, Larry.
And I got to tell you, I've had a couple people who subscribe to, I don't even remember what the service is, and I don't want to say it because it's not important. But some services will eventually give up or quit. And when they disband, their music's off of that deal now. So when you use a music service, try to pick one if you're going to subscribe to one. And I know we all have different ones. I think two of us use the same, but be sure it's one you think is going to be around for a while. Don't take a fly-by-night one because you could get dinged in the long run. Just a thought. If monetization is important, then that's something to be concerned about. If you don't care, don't worry about it.
We do have a few seconds real quick. I did want to point out too in this video, the Adventures in Pop-Ups, the call to action early on for the like and subscribe. I don't really care for it, and I saw someone else said that as well. However, you said they've grown pretty fast in 3 months. So maybe from an artsy perspective, we don't care for it, but it's working for them. So just one of those things. It's not necessarily saying, hey, don't do that. Just consider it may be working for them. It may work for you as well.
Their title, their tag, something's working. I mean, they're doing a darn good job.
It's a great point. You got to figure out what works for your channel and your situation. I was listening to a family the other day about what has helped their channel grow ridiculously. I mean, in the millions. And they said it's largely because they do the call to action at the very beginning, then again at the very end, and in the middle. I'm like, are you serious? Because you'll go and you'll listen to somebody else who's growing crazy fast and says, I don't care for that. We don't do it at all. I mean, you got to find what works for you. And once you find, and do some experimenting, see what do it one way in one video, one way in another, see which one gains more subscribers. You can check all of that in your analytics.
Good.
Very good.
All right. Now we're going to go to a channel that is very cool, y'all. This is Fort Wilderness Ricky. And Ricky is a cool guy that finds Fort Wilderness to be a safe space for him, a comfortable place to be. And you just see his adventures at Fort Wilderness. And we're going to show you just a 1-minute clip of what they've got going on for his birthday.
How are you? Hello.
As is the tradition of our show here, we're going to go in the opposite order. Let's start with Donovan now.
Okay. I loved getting the what's coming up. What's this about? Those lines, those little blurbs at the bottom. I'm like, I know exactly what I'm going to watch for. And now I'm anticipating to get to each one of those. So I loved that. I laughed so hard when Nikki says hi to Ricky in the window while Dad opens the door and he looks over and it sounds like his dad's the one saying hi. I don't know why that struck me as funny, but it was hilarious. I don't even know if that was on purpose, the way it cut and everything. If she put her voiceover on it, I don't know how that worked out, but to me, that was hilarious. I was like, I'm ready to see some more of this. And I had so much fun seeing him get so excited to investigate the cabin. I mean, I was just like, oh man, I can't. Oh, he's checking this. Wow, there's only a few bowls in there. I was just having fun with him. I thought that was great. If I had to pick something that made me feel it slowed down, is I thought the drive scenes were too long. I would have liked to seen a 5-second of the Disney bus going by, a 5-second of pulling up to the thing, and then that's it. And the long drive along, it could have been a little shorter. But outside of that, I was having fun.
You stole my thunder. All right. So
sorry.
That's okay. Darth Vader's above me. I love the music. I'm for a while I was stuck on banjo music. I was using it in almost all my videos, but I love the music. Not the first clip as much as the second clip, which brings up a point. When I put music in between clips, depending on the clip and depending on the video, I like to take the tail end of the music and put it in the first clip so that it fades off like the song's ending before the next song starts. And then this one, for some reason in the beginning, it was a short clip of music and then it just sort of went and then the next music started, which I don't know. It's a technique. It depends on, what you're looking for, but I like mine to trail off and then pick back up in the next clip, depending on the clip. Just a suggestion. I thought it was snappy. I thought it was okay. I think in the beginning, was that a cake? That was a cake, right? At the very beginning, I thought that was a cake.
It's a pen that you get when you visit Disney World.
There you go. That thing. I think that should be moved off center just a bit because the text and the text on that, whatever that was, sort of got together and it sort of looked jumbled. I think if you went like rule of thirds again, I don't know why I'm on rule of thirds again, but if you put that thing here and then the text here, I think it would have cleaned that up a little bit. But like Donovan said, when he got out and he was going in that cabin, he looked like he was so excited just to go in there and check out that cabin. It was awesome. And that's it.
Is it my turn?
Yep, your turn, David.
I mean, I know that I played Darth Vader before, but is this somehow invoking a Darth Vader type look?
I don't know. When I looked up, I saw you. I thought Darth Vader.
Have you even watched Star Trek?
It's yeah. That's don't they have the Millennium or something? Or
I can't wait to hear from Chucky.
The Millennium Gandalf.
Yeah, they got the Yoda and the.
Scott's losing it. Back on task, everyone.
I figure out how to mute these microphones. There's a mute button here somewhere.
All right. Well, let's talk about this video for a moment. Fort Wilderness Ricky. Honestly, I get excited just at the very name there, Fort Wilderness. And, well, Ricky's a great name, too. But I am fascinated with Fort Wilderness, and I've not even been there yet. I'm so fascinated about it. When I do finally go there, I want to go track down all the old train tracks. I don't know how many people know that they used to have their own railroad within that campground to take people from their RVs and tent campsites up to the front where the food is and the buses and boats. And I don't know why they ripped it all out. That campground is huge. It needs its own train to carry people around. So I would love to go there and learn more about that. Now, onto this video. I've not watched a lot of Fort Wilderness Ricky, but I've seen a few of Nick's picks, and I kind of felt like this could have used a quick few second intro from maybe mom, like happy birthday, Ricky, or I don't know, something to that effect would have been neat to add. Now, what Donovan had brought up about the transition, okay, not the transitions, but the actual driving. I love the transitions. I actually was blown away by how smooth they were. Especially, so there was 3 of them, and the first one was so smooth I didn't even know it happened. I was watching it, and all of a sudden it's like it just changed instantly, and I was like, "Man, is Ricky over there using green screen techniques learned from Donovan?" That was like, what did they just do there? That was smooth. It was a little bit more, not quite synced up as well in the second one, but I was impressed. I honestly, because of that, forgot about keeping track of how long that drive was. So that was really well done. I was impressed. And of course, the cabins are great. Honestly, I got to go back and watch more of it because, like I said, I love Fort Wilderness. I want to know more about it, and someday in the future, I'm going to take our RV and go stay there. What do you got, Scott?
I agree that the intro was awesome. It went bam, bam, bam. This is what you're going to see. I always like that. Tell me what I'm going to see. But then I also agree that then we had to watch you drive there. And we talked about it. We've talked about it before. The drive is such a huge part of the trip that you think you need to include a big chunk of it. But for the folks watching, like Donovan says, we've all seen driving before. We don't have to show that. What I would have done in that video is I would have skipped to where Ricky gets out of the car and is so excitedly going to explore the cabin. That was the next thing that caught my attention. Like, I was saving this for later, but I'm going to go ahead and say it now. Why would somebody watch Ricky's video? Why are we watching Fort Wilderness Ricky? It's to see Ricky because he's so awesome. We want to see his joy and his excitement. Skip the truck. Go straight to, we're going to see this. Here it is. Here's Ricky. That would be my suggestion is let's cut that stuff out. Let's go straight to let's see Ricky because that's what we want to see. That's my suggestion. We're going to do a round table. I'm going to play the clip again, but because this was a trip for Ricky's birthday, I've got a special birthday video for Ricky. It's about 30 seconds. We're going to play it right now before we do the round table. So here's some happy birthday for Ricky.
Very happy birthday. Happy birthday.
So we do hope you enjoy your special day.
Happy birthday from Princess Aurora.
Happy birthday from me, Flounder, Sebastian, Scuttle, my father, Eric, Max, and Grimsby.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
It's Aladdin.
Hi, it's Jasmine.
Happy birthday.
I hope you have a lovely birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. I hope it's the best day ever. Happy birthday. Anna and Elsa here. We hope you have a wonderful day.
So happy birthday, Ricky. Hope you had a really great time down there at Fort Wilderness. Guys in the chat, type happy birthday to Ricky, and we're going to watch this video again. And if you would also in the chat, just type some feedback you've got on the video, and we'll all have a roundtable discussion about it in about 1 minute. Man, I'll say it again. The reason we watch Fort Wilderness Ricky is to see Ricky. I mean, just right there at the end, he gets out of the car. I want to see what he's going to see. It's so exciting.
Anybody else have the sudden urge to eat some Burger King? How about that product placement?
All that, yeah.
I want to expand on your transition thing, Dave.
All right.
If you're doing, anytime you do a transition where it's like driving or you're following an object through things, if you make the size of the vehicle or the object the same where the transition hits, it'll almost look like the object or your center point doesn't hardly transition at all, but just the background will. You'll see it a little bit, but I'm just telling you, it's a neat little trick to do when you do a transition of a dissolve on an object or like in a drive sequence. If it's the same vehicle and you can center them up to where it almost overlaps perfectly, make your transition there and it'll look really cool.
Awesome.
Editing music, Steve.
I did what?
Editing music.
What?
So
No.
you mentioned using the end of a song.
Yes.
But what if that's not the part you love?
You can fade the volume out. It's not the same, because usually songs, I like snappy songs. I like songs that end sort of snappy. You know, you can hear it end. There's some songs that just sort of fade. I like that transition. That's just me. I don't know if it's good or bad, but for me, most of my music is just sort of, it's like elevator music. It's just something there, you know, that's in your head. And I try to plug it in and out of the video just to change things up, to keep the brain moving, so that I'm not just sitting there going, but that's just me. I really don't have any type of return on investment to be able to say, you know, that stuff works. But that's just something.
I just wanted to tell you, it never occurred to me to use the end of the song to fade out the music. And that sounds so stupid, but I never thought of it. I usually fade out a song and start a song at overlapping slightly. So the music changes subtly, but you don't actually, the music never is completely interrupted. But I wanted to compliment you because I never even thought about using the end of the song to finish something out.
I don't know. I just like the way, you know, some songs they end and they're like, ba-dum-bum, and then you go on to the next whatever.
Like all your jokes.
Don't get started. We're having a round robin.
Oh,
discussion.
I'm sorry. I'm shutting up now.
I wanted to go back to transitions because you guys were talking about that. I think that a lot of people, because we watch movies, we get caught up into this whole thing that movies can get away with that videos can't get away with. People that watch videos they're like me. They have ADD. They want to see it snap. They want to see it move. Movies sort of, they draw you in. The car pulls up. You see the view of the guy in the car. The door opens. He gets out of the car. He walks to the house. He opens the door. He goes in the door. He got out of the car and went to the house. When we create videos, he's got to get out of that car and go to the house. He can't go through all of that just to get there because they'll check out. They don't, that's just not what they're here for. They're not here to watch a movie. They want to see something move. They want a story. They want it quick. I don't know. That's just my thoughts.
In the chat, I see we've got Video Zeus. Y'all know I greatly respect what he does over there. He does an amazing job, and he's got a great point. In the chunk we watched, there really wasn't any narrative telling us about what was going on. Way later in the video, they're shopping in a store there at Disney, and you hear the explanation that Ricky is a person with autism, and he is mostly what's the word? Darn it. He doesn't talk a lot. And we hear that way later. But I don't know if you guys caught it. We also hear some of his sounds when he's excited. Did y'all catch that? Earlier, Steve, you were talking about something ending the song and starting the next song. And if that's not going to work out quite right, put something in between. It could have been Ricky expressing his excitement because, like I said earlier, when I watch this channel, it's to see Ricky and how excited he is. I mean, that's why we're watching. Go ahead and put that in there. And what Brian's saying here is some narrative to help us understand some of that up front. As we're saying, here's what you're going to see. Show us some of that shopping scene, because while Ricky's interactions look different than a lot of folks, Ricky's interactions are really interesting and really cool. And the rest of the world benefits from that joy. So seeing him, that picture with all of the staff together, that's just really cool. So yeah, I think giving some narrative and some context up front at the beginning of the video, because the people who are coming back, we know what we're seeing. But a brand new viewer, we might need some context. What do y'all think?
I think you're right. I think that is true. I like to go back to the emotion. Donovan talked about it. I think Scott just talked about it. When you can put emotion into your videos, everybody can relate to that. And I think that's awesome. Anytime you can do that, I say do it.
I think what you're saying, Scott, she filmed in a certain way. We saw from Ricky's point of view when he's looking out the window and what he's watching. Those are brilliant for this kind of video. You're seeing it from what he's seeing. You're looking at what he's looking at by filming just behind him. I love those shots, running up the stairs. I mean, I got excited. He seemed like he couldn't wait to get upstairs. All of a sudden, I couldn't wait for him to get upstairs.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, the way she films for Ricky draws me in. I feel like I get to see through Ricky's eyes, and I love the way she does that.
You know, we've talked about before, putting a channel intro is the thing we skip past. This might be a channel where a channel intro would be super appropriate and super helpful. Just a quick, like in the store, we introduced Ricky to the staff. Hey, here's what you need to know. Now here's Ricky. Maybe something like that at the beginning of the video. This might be a place where an intro is helpful. Just a quick 3-second, here's who this is, and here's why you're going to love watching him.
Yeah, that's like I was saying too. You know, I usually Nikki's gotten good about starting off like, hey, here's what we're doing today. Would have been neat to have her start off with, you know, hey, this is Ricky. He really likes Fort Wilderness. He doesn't express himself the same way as others, but let's see what life is like at Fort Wilderness with Ricky on his birthday, and then just get to it. I think that would have helped define the video for anybody that's not familiar with Ricky. So,
how's that going to impact the people that watch Ricky's videos all the time?
It's a good point.
That's the tough rub, isn't it? It's a give and take.
I don't know if I'm watching Ricky all the time, and I've got now Nikki steps in for 3 seconds to give me that. I'll watch that 3 seconds to get to watch Ricky.
I agree with you. I love that you said it. I agree.
All right, we still got 11 and a half minutes. What else you got, fellas?
Well, it's I mean, it's a challenge what you just said. You know, you want to be open to the new viewers, and you want to be open to the viewers that have come back, often. So you gotta figure out a way to do both.
Yeah, and here's the way right here. You got to tell them why they're watching. Yeah, and it might be an overarching, here's why you watch this channel, or a specific, here are the things we're going to do for Ricky's 18th birthday. But yeah, you got to get the hook in there for sure.
I thought the hook was what we were about to see.
I think the driving with transitions could have stayed, but I would have not gone with 5 seconds. I would have gone shorter. I would have done maybe like 2 seconds. 2 seconds transition, 2 seconds transition. Get there a little faster. Now, on that, though, we have discussed now several times about the driving portion. And Donovan, you know as well as I do about Dude RV and how he does driving of state parks. Now, he does them. He knows that there's a market for it because people want to see the specifics of a drive. But what he does in that case, he goes and does 2 videos on a state park. He actually goes and drives the whole state park. And I know, Donovan, you have mentioned in the past that you actually rely on those videos. And I like that information as well. It's not necessarily something that's going to hook us and suck us in. But if you know you can rely on Dude RV's channel to go and maybe take a look at some of the trees and how things are on a certain turn, if you're worried about how long your rig is, that's useful information. And so I think sometimes that's what we get caught up in. We're thinking that might be useful. And it doesn't really fit in a travel vlog is what we're finding. So it almost needs its own separate video.
Yeah, I think you're a little staticky, Dave. You may want to play with your mute during this.
I think it all depends on your audience. I mean, some people like one thing, some people like another. You know, and everybody has their thing. Content, you know, there's videos that are awesome that may not necessarily appeal to me. I think what it comes down to, for all the things that you try, not only what are your views, what are your analytics telling you, and what is your retention? You know, if you come up to a road footage and it goes, well, maybe that's not for your audience. But if everybody sticks around through the road footage, then, you know, maybe it is. So you gotta look at your analytics and you know your audience.
And maybe this is what somebody's tuning in for. Maybe they want to see, like Dave would watch that video just to see what's going on at Fort Wilderness. So that's
Right.
a great.
Sure.
And this is a good point too. You just, I mean, you got to know your situation and know what you can get. That's a great point.
Yeah.
One other thing about the driving thing I got to add is that it's about what are you trying to convey? If in Dude RV's deal, I'm watching his videos because I want to know where I can park that I can have shade on the sides, but still have open tops so my solar works. And that's why I watch every inch of those videos, trying to find the best site so that I can plan ahead. When I'm watching, and like what Dave said, this is like a travel one, so maybe this is a little less about that. It was great seeing the Disney buses going by, you know. Those little bits are great because they are conveying something. That's where they are. Not everybody knows Fort Wilderness is at Disney. Until I started watching Ricky's channel, I didn't know that. I didn't know that was a thing. So I learned from this channel. So I think it's about what you're trying to convey and how to use it the best you can. And of course, these are always suggestions. We're never saying what you're doing is wrong. We're always just trying to give you options, and we're talking together and we're learning together. I learned a bunch of stuff today I didn't even know about. So I'm loving this, but I just want to make sure everybody knows that's our goal, is to all learn together.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What?
I was just spouting off. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You had
an Eddie Murphy movie moment.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
You know, there's hold on. There's 8 of me. 8 going on up here. All up here. Sorry.
Thanks, Carl.
Hold on. I'm gonna mute myself.
That's good, Steve. Know your strengths. Muting. That's your strength. Play to that. We've got a few minutes left. Let me ask Dave and Steve and Donovan and folks in the chat. If you're a smaller channel, let's define a smaller channel as, I don't know, in the grand scheme of YouTube, less than 100,000. If you've got less than 100,000 subscribers, what types of videos are drawing people to your channel? So people in the chat, what would draw somebody to a smaller channel? What type of video do we make? And Dave and Steve and Donovan, what are your thoughts? I'll go first. If you do a versus or a comparison video in your niche, so if you're a backpacker and you show all the hiking trails that you like to do, then you compare 2 different types of hiking boots, or you compare 2 different backpacks, or you compare 2 different water purification systems that you use when you're hiking. Because somebody sitting in their home in wherever is going, I need to go buy a new pair of boots. Which ones do I get? Do I get this or do I get this? Well, now they're coming to your video, but be ready, because when they do that, they're also going to be looking for something else. Is that something else going to be on your channel or somebody else's? So there's an example of a video you can go make right now to draw somebody to your channel, a versus or a comparison video. What else you guys got?
Well, I'm obviously not very good at making videos that everybody wants to see. So let's say it this way. I'm either watching on how to fix something I've broken, And I say it that way, including myself. I've had to repair myself, which you'll see soon in a short, by the way. I want to be entertained, or I want to know how to fix something. And I want to be informed, but I want humor to go with it. I want to laugh. I want to go, oh, that was great. I'm not good with just simple step by step. It's got to be entertaining for me. Steve?
Well, I like entertaining. I'm okay with that. No, I think I've sort of grappled around with this a little bit, because when I first started out, I was making videos that I want to make. They weren't videos that people might search for, but they were videos that I wanted to make that I thought would help people out. But it's not necessarily based on any, analytics. But I think DIY and upgrade and product reviews, things like that, everybody's looking for those things. Just like Scott said, if you do a comparison video, I bought this, is it better than that? I think those are great videos, and I think people are looking for them. And even for smaller channels, because, the bigger channels, they're like, yeah, buy this product because they told me to sell it to you, and they're going to give me some money for it. And that's not really a review. But so I don't know. I think it's a challenge to produce the video that people are striving to see, to draw them to your channel. So it's a challenge every week, or it is for me.
So we started our channel, Tanya and I, based on differences of showers at campgrounds. And Tanya's idea was, if only there was some kind of YouTube videos that showed us what the showers were like before we picked out what campgrounds we're going to. That's what kicked this off for us. Now, we always show the showers. Anytime we get to a state park or an RV park, I try to get out in there and I try to show off some showers so that people can see that that's like our foundation. That's not our most popular video, which is how to cool a tent. That one gets a lot of searches and hits, but our state park videos are pulling in a lot of views every time. Now I try to bring in all the aspects, like Donovan said, have some entertainment, have some laughs and things like that included with, to make sure that people are entertained, but at the same time that they're getting value in learning about that state park before they go, so that they know, am I going to like this? So that's information that people want to know about.
Before you sign us off, Scott, I just wanted to make a mention because of what was just said. I do love YouTube product reviews because the Amazon ones are not good. So I go to YouTube to check out before I go buy a product, and I'm hoping they're going to compare a few. So you guys are spot on and didn't even think of it that way. So thanks for that.
I'm going to go really fast. I see some in the chat. Doreen says something unique. If you want to see something unique, go see how David at Texas Family Camping reviews an RV. Go see how Steve over at Steve Turtle talks about PSI. Go see how Donovan over at RV on the Wayside teaches about green screen. These guys are pros at doing it in a unique way. They give us the how-to, the information, the reviews. Y'all are exactly right. James, I mean,
wait,
if you want
to
go
see Scott to see number 1 and number 2, please.
I'm number 1 and number 2. I know about the poo. Product reviews, that's exactly right. Trips. And Nikki's got a great point, but it just flew away. There it is. 50% come from Google searches. So go to Google, figure out what people are searching for. Y'all, we got to get out of here. If you are willing to let us review one of your videos, send us an email to vidliftinfo@gmail.com. We would so greatly appreciate you sharing. And thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. We will see you next time. Whose channel are we on next time, guys? Texas Family Live. See you next week.